Welcome back. My name is Tanner, and if you're new here, I'm your typical CPA who is striving to live a healthy and balanced lifestyle while working in public accounting. If you're currently in school and wondering if you should pursue a career in audit, then this video is for you to give you an insight on what a day in the life of an auditor is like. Or if you're currently an auditor and you're tired of explaining to your friends and family that you will not do their taxes, then this video is to share with them. Also, be sure to watch the end or take advantage of the timestamps at the bottom of the screen. I'll share my top 6 tips to starting your audit career strong. So now, let's go! So now, what exactly is an auditor? Put simple, an auditor ensures organizations maintain accurate and honest financial records. They help protect businesses from fraud by verifying a business's records while pointing out discrepancies and ensuring that companies' accounting records are precise. There are 2 main types of auditors. The first are internal auditors, which are usually employees of the company that they're auditing. Then there are external auditors, who are not employees of the company that they're auditing. For the rest of this video, when I'm talking about an auditor, I'll be referring to external auditors, which will apply to those of you that are working in public accounting. For public companies in the US, the main duty of an auditor is to determine whether financial statements follow generally accepted accounting principles, known as GAAP. To ensure this requirement, auditors inspect accounting data, financial records, and operational aspects of the business. Once an audit is complete, the auditor's findings are presented in a report that appears in the filed financial statements. Similarly, audit reports can be issued for private companies for the use of company management, owners, and regulatory authorities. The Securities and Exchange Commission demands that books of public companies are regularly examined by external auditors in compliance with official auditing procedures. Now that you have an understanding of what an auditor is and a general understanding of their purpose, let's discuss what the day-to-day work looks like. To do this, let's cover a high-level timeline of an audit during a calendar year of a publicly traded company with a year end of December 31st. To begin the first 2 months of the calendar year, these are spent performing audit procedures over the prior year financial statements of the public company. And then you'll spend March and maybe April working on private company audits. I'll explain what this work actually looks like at the end of this timeline. But to kick off the current year audit timeline, the first quarter comes to a close on March 31st. A SEC Form 10-Q must be filed each of the first 3 quarters of the company's fiscal year. So an auditor will perform what are known as review procedures, which are less extensive than audit procedures, over the company's data and disclosures in the filed 10-Q. As an auditor, you'll perform a series of analytical procedures to assess the reasonableness of the company's performance for the quarter. You'll also perform a series of inquiries with the client executives and agree the underlying financial data to the company's financial disclosures in their filed 10-Q. Then, upon filing the company's first 10-Q, the audit team will plan their current year audit by performing a series of scoping procedures to determine what needs to be audited and then develop an audit strategy. Once you've determined what needs to be audited, you will confirm your understanding of the company's various processes through a series of walkthroughs. In these walkthrough procedures, an auditor traces a transaction from its initiation through the company's information system to the point where it's reflected in the financial statements. An auditor will perform at least one walkthrough for each major class of transactions. At the same time, an auditor evaluates if the controls in place of this public company are designed effectively. These walkthrough procedures will be performed through the end of Q2 till it's time to perform review procedures again that I outlined previously over the company's Q2 quarter-to-date data and their year-to-date data. Upon the filing of the company's 10-Q and likely the second half of July, an auditor will continue to perform their walkthrough procedures for the rest of the quarter. To begin October, an auditor will once again perform the review procedures over the latest quarter and then move right into their interim audit procedures upon the filing of the company's third quarter 10-Q. These interim audit procedures will typically be over the first 3 quarters of the year as of 9/30. Instead of performing all of the audit procedures as of 12/31 during business season in January and February, the auditor will perform as many of these procedures during the 4th quarter as of 9/30. These interim audit procedures entail substantively testing the company's significant accounts and testing the effectiveness of the company's internal controls for the first 9 to 10 months of the year. After the calendar year has come to a close and the company has closed their books for the fiscal year, the auditors will finish up their audit procedures, which will include performing any walkthroughs over the company's processes that occurred at year end, perform roll-forward procedures over the company's significant accounts that they had tested as of 9/30, and complete the rest of their test of controls. Obviously, there's a lot more going on over the course of an audit year, but as a young auditor, this will be what 90% of your job looks like. Now, what some of you might have been waiting for in this video. For those new auditors maybe looking ahead at the first busy season that is to come, here are some tips that I have to make the most of your career development in public accounting. Tip number 1 is to remain calm. New staff and interns, when they join the firm, so often put too much pressure on themselves. I'm here to tell you, don't. Having been there myself, I can honestly tell you that there's a steep learning curve for new auditors. Know that you're not expected to know the answers to everything or be leading the audit. Your seniors and above will be leading the way, explaining the procedures to you, and answer your questions. As a staff or an intern, you will be given tasks that match your skill set. So again, just remain calm, follow the rest of the tips I've outlined here, and you'll be just fine. Tip number 2 is to show up on time with a positive attitude. 2 things you can easily control as an auditor is your attitude and being punctual. Young auditors who are pleasant to work with in the audit room will find themselves with great demand and can lead to valuable opportunities in the firm. Tip number 3 is to pay attention to the details. Sometimes you might be tempted to get lazy with your work when it gets repetitive and mundane, but it's always crucial to think critically and pay attention to the details. The less so-called dumb mistakes that your seniors or your managers are finding as a part of the review will only look favorable on yourself. Obviously, no one will ever be perfect, but if your reviewer is finding careless mistakes in each work paper, then it will leave only doubts in their minds on your attention to detail in all of your work. One recommendation that I have is to review your own work before you hand it off to review. Even a little thing as running a simple spell check can go a long ways. Tip number 4 is to know your limits. One of the hardest things for new auditors is to learn when to ask for help. Accounting is highly technical, and it's highly unlikely a new auditor will be a financial statement or an accounting expert. If the solution to a problem is beyond your capacity and skill level as a new auditor, talk to a more experienced teammate who can help you before you spend hours with no results. Ultimately, knowing your limits can save audit teams time and energy and reduce frustration and misunderstandings. Tip number 5 is to organize client communications. What is key for a new auditor is to build strong client relationships. One easy way to do this is to organize your questions so you're able to more efficiently and be less intrusive on a client's workday by asking several questions at once when possible.
I can answer any questions that you have.
I have no questions.
Yeah, okay.
Whatever you can do to be organized and make your client's life easier when it comes to questions or requests will bode well for you in the long run to developing strong and meaningful relationships. The last tip I have is to enjoy the experience. You're only going to be a first-year auditor once, so you should embrace the experiences and growth that will come with it. There will be no other time in your public accounting career when so much knowledge will be obtained in such a short period of time. In addition to the new experiences, new auditors are exposed to a vast array of unique individuals with amazing backgrounds. Embrace the relationships you develop and the things you learn along the way. There you have it. Those are my 6 tips for all you new auditors. But if you have any questions or helpful tips yourself about being an auditor, then please share them in the comments below. To end here, if you found this video helpful, please consider sharing it and hitting that like button. If you want to be sure to catch my next video on living a healthy and balanced lifestyle as an accountant, please sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. Otherwise, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.